I actually don't feel like I need that light today. You don't need to be in all that mass energy today. We can be just in that light. So let's get ready for the people to join. So as we are joining, as we are waiting for them to join, we'll be reading a Kikuyu story. Kiria gitumaga hitie thue. So ici nĩ ng'ano 15 cia Ũgĩkũyũ. Now I want to show you something. I told you that our Kikuyu is learned Kikuyu. You see, ng'ano 15 cia Ũgĩkũyũ. You see, 15 is in red. Okay? So that's 6. So the publishers, whoever came up with this, remember the publishers came up with even how the book is going to be printed and everything. So let's start with the story and then we'll get to the live. Kiria gitumaga hiti ithue. So we are reading the story as we wait for you to join. Muthenya ũmwe hiti nĩyahũtĩte mũno. Igacangacangaga bũrũri-inĩ ikĩhũngaga mũcingo ĩgwengana harĩ handũ ĩngĩigua hakĩnunga tũnyama. Now, remember, the greatest stories ever told, we talk of allegories or how we tell stories is through stories. Okay? I want to tell you a story. So, when you're reading the story, it's not talking about a proper hyena. So it's talking about muthenya ũmwe hiti nĩyahũtĩte mũno ĩgacangacanga bũrũri-inĩ ĩkĩhũngaga mũcingo ĩgwengana harĩ handũ ĩngĩigua hakĩnunga tũnyama. So of course, now you start writing down what you call the character, the characteristics, the persona. We start with hiti. Hiti nĩ kĩ? It's a hyena. Then, no, let's start from the story, from the word go. Muthenya ũmwe, so that's one day. Point of reference for the first time, a day. Hiti nĩyahũtĩte mũno. So we had a hyena that was hungry. We already know that a hyena, the work of the hyena is to clear carcasses. Kazi ya hyena ndio the natural undertaker of the world, of the wild animals. So before we even continue, understand that the hyena here is not being looked at like an animal that should be respected. We are looking at the hyena like an undertaker, because that is the work of the hyena, to clear carcasses. Okay? Kazi ya hyena ni kukula mizoga. Now, igacangacangaga bũrũri-inĩ. Now, when you're talking of Bururi, stop looking at it like that. They are talking, Bururi is a country, a state, a nation. Ikĩhũngaga mũcingo igwengana harĩ handũ ĩngĩigua hakĩnunga nyama. Kuhoga, ikĩhũngaga, kuhoga is being sensitive to the senses. Musigo is smell, scent. Okay, there's a reason why I'm giving this story before I jump. So today we'll be talking about, today is Wednesday, so it's ordained. We'll be talking about the masculine man. We'll be talking about how women can sniff. Women can sniff neediness. So when a female animal is in heat, the male will smell, inainua mdomo, ukaigua nĩraigua mũrukĩ. So in the same character, in the same way, women can smell what you call neediness in a man, or their weakness in a man. Now, come on now. I'm wearing banjari. Inaitangwa banjari, ama what do you call this color? It's rhyming with my shirt. Sijana niliambiwa ati I'm thinking I'm handsome. So why not? So the reason I'm giving this story, it came at the right moment. Then we'll jump into the masculine, and then I can show the men how women can sniff, not their money, but they can sniff what you call neediness in a man and how they can exploit that neediness in a man. Back to the story. Now, ĩgĩthiĩ ũguo nĩ yakinyire handũ ĩkĩigua mũcingo. So when the hyena was moving, it picked a scent, a smell, a scent. Ĩkĩigua mũcingo. Ĩkĩrora na kũrĩa waumĩte. So the hyena is looking, where is that scent coming from? It's picking the scent. Rĩrĩa yathiaga ĩgĩkinya handũ harĩ magomano ma njĩra. So magomano ma njĩra is a crossing, aka a yod, okay? Magomano ma njĩra, where two roads are meeting. So, and remember, we are not talking about the normal road. This is a spiritual page. So we are dissecting these things deeper. Because remember what I told you. The Southern Kikuyu, or what you call the good news in the Bible, is the same good news you find in this book, 48 Laws of Power. It is the same stories on this, and it is the same story taken from 1,000 Kikuyu proverbs, okay? Or from the Bible, for that matter. Yeah, okay. Rĩrĩa yathiaga ĩgĩkinya handũ harĩ magomano ma njĩra, yanungĩra na gũkũ ĩkaigua kwĩ mũcingo, yanungĩra na gũkũ ĩkaigua kwĩ mũcingo. So at the fork of the road, at the road fork, this is spiritual now. There's some deep spiritual shit hidden here. So both ways had a scent. Both ways, both roads had a scent. Okay? So the hyena comes to a crossroad, and in both ways there's a scent. Think about it like this. Okay? You have a mission in life, and sometimes you'll be undecided. You don't know which route to take. Think about it like that. We are not talking about nyama. Because at the end of the day, even when you get your money, you are going to get what? Whatever. Now, ĩgĩkira ĩkiuga atĩrĩrĩ, ngũgera ĩno kone ngana ngone. Ĩgĩcoka ĩgĩciria rĩngĩ, ĩkĩuga atĩrĩ, kana ngere ĩno ĩ kone kana ngone. So this is indecisive energy. Remember, the reason I'm giving this story is to prepare your mind for what we are going to jump to in a minute, where we'll be talking about the masculine man, his wounded masculinity, and how women can smell your neediness. Neediness. You see, men think that they know shit. Men think that they can use women. In fact, if you are masculine enough, you understand that there's no woman that is stupid. Even if a woman is doing things that look like they are dumb and stupid, a woman will always be 10 steps ahead of you, no matter what man you are, unless you are me. Now, ĩkire kiuga atĩrĩ, ngũgera ĩno ngone ngana ngũgera ĩno ngone ngano ngone. Rĩu rĩ, ĩkĩrigwo nĩ haha kũrĩa ĩgũthiĩ, ĩkĩrigwo nĩ na kũrĩa gũthiĩ, ĩkiuga ngũgera njĩra cierĩ nĩgetha o harĩa ndĩthiĩ ngore nyama. So since the hyena couldn't pick on a journey to go, the hyena decided to take both paths. So the hyena decided, I'm neither going to go with my thought or my feeling. I'm going to pass or take both paths. Okay? Ikiambĩrĩria gũthiĩ, so the hyena now is moving on both paths. Ikiambĩrĩria gũthiĩ ĩtaganĩirie magũrũ, so the hyena took both roads. Being righteous, I'm going to find meat, and not wanting to separate to find meat. So he took the right-hand path, the righteous way, or went into religion, and at the same time, what you call the good news, and at the same time, decided to separate and go the spiritual way. So, this is chaos, this is confusion. Now, when you are talking of maguru, for the context of the story, so legs, ni Pisces, legs, so legs have Pisces, Aquarius, Sagittarius, the thighs. Shout out to all the Sagittarius in the house. So those are 3 signs, okay? So igithi o ikigetaga, that means splitting. Riri ringi ri igikondoka kuguru ikiremwo ni gucoka guthie. Nikio kwiragwo atiriri, micingo iri ri yoinire hiti kuguru na rugano ni rwathira. Meaning, when you are following two sects, you can lose your footing. Shout out to everyone in the space. Now let's begin our story. Now, women, our queens, our mothers, our daughters, the Eve, the feminine energy, Tiamat, Gaia, Earth, we respect you. Now, women have a special gift. Female was first. The egg was first. Before the sperm, before the externalization. Now, if you want to go deep, you can go into how that happened, but we are not going to go deeper into that because today we are talking about the masculine. Women can smell what you call a neediness in a man, in a male, in a masculine. That is even why in the beginning it was them that told the man to bite the apple. Okay? So from a young age, and I observe this with my daughter. She's 9 now. Okay? The girls at a young age, as young as 4, they can sniff neediness in a man. Why can they do this? Remember, females are wired to choose the strongest seed to ensure the survival of their young ones. So from as young as kindergarten, baby class, Montessori, it's just that your teachers don't know, because you know your teachers are not spiritual. Your teachers just teach to get the money, and it's not even a calling. Okay? We also have demons that teach. We have so many demons that teach. Even in the streets, we have so many spiritual teachers. Demons can teach, and very well. Now, so as a young girl, they have inanity or inanimate, what do you call that energy where it's inbred inside them? Women can sniff neediness. Why? Because neediness is a weakness. When a man is in neediness, and I'm going to go deeper into what neediness means, because you see, in this world, you confuse language. So when someone is being told to be neediness, you think of material things. You think of help. No, that's not what it means. So these young girls, as they are growing, from a young age, especially if they have if they are what you call attractive women. So this is also not for all women. Remember, attractive women are attractive for a reason. So if you go into the nature, into the world, you'll find that there are some flowers, okay, that shine the brightest to trap the flies. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a woman who's attractive, especially on the outside, is attractive for no reason. Okay? That is why men fail when they go for looks. It's spiritual. So from a young age, this attractive, keyword attractive girl learns to sniff out neediness. And a lot of men, because these things are not taught, whereby they're supposed even to be taught to the boys, don't know that. They don't even realize that that is a fact. And they don't even realize this until they are sabotaged. So all these men, people like Tyrese Gibson, okay, now he has become a cry baby. Kila siku ni kulia ati in the name of love. There's nothing like love. Okay? So these young men from a young dating age, since they don't know that beautiful women sniff out neediness, not help, but neediness. So they end up in relationships where they get sabotaged. But here's the good news. There's a proven system of overcoming that, but that's not where we are going. That was what you call keep that in mind, because it's also going to come in handy in this life. So we started with the story of the hyena, the indecisiveness. Then we talked about how attractive women can smell neediness in men. I didn't say men who need help, I said neediness in men. Now, let's come to the men. In today's world and society that we are living in, we have a concept where, as a man, if you are pursuing masculinity, it is looked at like it's not even essential for survival. So when the men are pursuing their masculinity, they are looked at, they are pursuing masculinity for what they see the value of themselves in, aka they are seeking masculinity for themselves, not from external pressure. An example: a man who chooses to train in boxing, a man who chooses to go for martial arts, a man who chooses to go to the gym, a man who chooses to go and run, a man who chooses to do what you call rigorous physical challenges, is seen like they are doing that out of what you call a personal conviction, rather than what you call a societal obligation. So if a man is going to the gym, anaonekananga anaenda gym for himself. If a man is training for boxing, it's seen like umsiana train boxing for himself. So it's seen like he's training for individual. He's training, maybe you can use that word. What is the meaning of the word volition? Volition, I think it means for self. What is the meaning of the word volition?
This is the definition of volition. The faculty or power of using one's will.
Yes, using one's wills. So, when a man is pursuing masculinity, he's seen like he's doing it out of his own will. Yeah, I was good in English, so I remember these words. I had an A in English. I was very good with literature. Learned English. It doesn't mean shit. English is updated Latin. So I'm good at Latin. I'm good at creating language. Or I'm good at regurgitating people who taught language, but I know how to create a language, okay? So, the reason why masculine energy is so suppressed is because even when a man is pursuing masculinity, it seems like he's doing it out of volition, his own will. He's going to the gym for his own thing, or he's doing it out of what you call his own noble choice, okay? So when a man is choosing to develop what you call the virtues, that is seen as a noble endeavor. Hiyo ni yake. He's doing it for himself. So he's reflecting on a personal decision. So he's reflecting on higher ideals, okay, rather than reacting to external demands. I'll give you another example. A man, I'm not a man for that matter, but in this world we call as man, so I like being considered as a male, okay? So a man who decides to mentor others, I'm a spiritual sensei, sensitive to the senses, what you can call a teacher. So let me give myself as an example now. So if I decide to mentor others, if I decide to practice leadership, so people will look at me like I'm doing that for my own personal values. They're not going to look at that like that is a requirement by the society to have people like me mentoring the men. So they look at me like, his masculinity is a noble choice, He's choosing to develop masculine virtues as a noble endeavor for his own good, okay? He's reflecting a personal decision to coach or to embody what you call higher ideals, rather than reacting to external demands. And the real truth is that the external demands are demanding for teachers like me. Because for the last 2,000 years, prayers have not worked. Nothing has worked. We don't have cures for diseases. Up to date, hata kichwa ina tiba. Okay? So the last 2,000 years, nothing has been working. In 2024, we still have wars. In 2024, we are still killing children, bombing children. That is unacceptable. If men cannot sit down on a table and agree, meaning every time we disagree, we have to go to war, that is showing you that there's something lacking. Teachers are lacking. Mentors are lacking. Masculine is wounded. There are some people who look at masculinity as a, what you call, philosophical virtue, where a man pursues masculinity, and that is look like it's a philosophical virtue. He wants to be masculine so that he can write a book, or he's doing that as a deliberate choice to enhance his own character or to enhance his own capabilities. I'll give you another example because I know I need to give you examples because we don't even have the language where this information is coming from, so I have to break it down for you. When a man embraces what you call traditional values, like courage, someone like Boniface Mwangi, when a man embraces traditional values like honor, this will be Morara, okay? The people look at these things like these are personal goals. People look at them like these goals are driven for their own personal gains. But the truth is this, Muliona Morara kona workshop yake. So he can decide, I'll just develop my furniture, market it, and compete with the odd and end with my marketing. And fuck Kenya, forget about Kenya. Boniface Mwangi Team Courage could have decided, forget about Kenya, wacha niuze mashamba zangu, and I go on with my life. Okay? And that is wrong. Because all these men are in their masculine, what you call the philosophical virtue of the masculine side, where whatever they are pursuing, they are doing it voluntarily. But the people, the low-hanging fruit, the people who look at them, they look at them like, huyu ni kulipwa amelipwa. Hiyo ni personal goals. You see? So our masculine is wounded because even the men themselves don't even know where it's coming from. So they are the first people to attack masculinity. Uliona akina Caswell wakiatakiwa kwa, what do you call them? TV stations. Okay? So when we talk of virtues and principles, or the meaning of virtue, which has become very broadened, okay? So if you can return to its root, what do you call it? Which is, it is what you call virility, okay? Or this comes, and that, to be really honest, this comes from very far. This comes from all the way to the Romans times. Remember, I told you that English is updated Latin. Okay, this is Roman language, whereby it's talking about understanding, strength, and courage. I'll give you another example for the modern man, so that you can get a modern interpretation of virtue. Okay? So, positive traits that focus on what you are calling this traditional manliness, where we have what you call a difference between forced and voluntary development when it comes to the masculine. So men who develop masculine or masculinity out of necessity are different from those who choose it freely. I repeat, because I don't even know what our men have been, but we don't teach them. Even when they go for the cut, there's no teaching. Akunanga, my son was cut. So when I took my son for cutting, when he came back, I didn't ask him exactly what he learned, but he had nothing. They taught him nothing. They just cut the tip of his penis, and he was told he's a grown-up now. Now, so this is the concept now. Men, there's a difference between what you call forced and voluntary development when it comes to masculinity. So men who develop masculinity out of necessity are different from those who choose it freely. With those who choose it freely, engaging in it for what you call personal growth rather than mere survival. Did you get that? ama umepotea, kizungu imekuwa mingi. Men who develop masculinity out of necessity are different from those who choose it freely. Those who choose it freely, okay, they do it for personal growth rather than mere survival. But masculinity comes out of survival instincts, fight or flight, protection, reproduction, building, na vitu kama hizo. I'll give you an example, another example, because I have to keep giving you examples. Let's say you have a man in extreme weather or a harsh environment. So a man who's in a harsh environment will become what you call physically strong. Huyu ni yule mzee anafanya kwa Kware, wanakuanga hapo Thika Road, Roiro. Shout out to all the men in Roiro who give us the building stones. So a man who becomes physically strong for survival, okay, has a huge difference, or what you call contrast, with someone who pursues strength as a personal challenge or looks at that as something that is ideal. So you're going to have someone, they have everything, they're not doing it out of survival. So for them, they are pursuing strength, mental strength, na vitu kama hizo. Na tukitoka hapa sasa ndio tunaingia what you call the traditional versus the modern masculinity. That is where we are right now. Okay? We're in a position we are talking about the traditional versus the modern masculinity. Now, historically, masculinity was something that was given. Today, it must be chosen consciously. So, back in the day, you would be born masculine. You'd be born a man, for lack of a better word. But today, you have to choose to be masculine. The society has shifted so much towards what you call androgynous or neither sex. Unasikia mtu akisema, so I'm a he, she, androgynous. So you don't even have a gender. Okay? We have changing values where now a man is not seen as someone who's masculine, but if you have the money, you're a man. I'll give you another example. A man who has a son, or let's call them a farmer. Let's say a farmer has a son. So the son, the farmer's son, may grow up with what you call an ingrained sense of masculinity, but now come to the modern town, or what you call a modern urban professional, whereby now the urban professional man, his son, mtoto wake, will actively choose and define his masculine traits. He may have to go to the gym. He may have to read the 48 laws of power. He may have to actively define his masculine traits. You see the difference? So one is a son born to a farmer. So by default, being in the farm, akilima aliona nyoka na tractor, he's been dealing with idhoa zinakula shamba, amekuwa akifukuza nugu zinakuja kukula mahindi, anafukuzanga ndovu, he has been training with arrows and all that shit. But then, the modern urban professional mwenye ako Kilimani, his son has to actively choose something that defines his masculine traits. And since they are in the, what you call the urban centers, they don't even know how to choose it. This is how we are ending up with sissy men. This is how we are ending up with men who are needy. So the attractive women can sniff out the neediness in these men. And the neediness in these men is for identity. So these men are looking for identity. They are looking to identify or create what you call a masculine, or what you call an intentional self-mastery of themselves to know themselves. So as a man, when it comes to choosing the path of masculinity, in today's time, this involves intentional self-improvement. You know, every day, you have to heal. You need what you call a commitment to what you call personal ideals. There's no shortcut. This is because of how the world has changed. There's no shortcut. You are raised, sheltered in urban development. You don't even have a drop of any masculinity inside you. You are a beta male. Okay, especially if you have not encountered that kind of mentorship. You are weak, and whatever you build will crumble. And attractive women will always sniff out the neediness inside you. Tulianza na story ya fisi. Mnakumbuka? We started with the story of the hyena for a reason. For a reason. Now, let's say this is an example. And shout out to Mufasa. Mufasa is a boxer. Nimeona TikTok. I think a Koronga is teaching men to do boxing and everything. And people have been shaming him on his TikTok page. Naonanga kwa comments, naona akimwambia he's teaching men to fight, anaambia now this is how to survive in a street fight. Wanaume wanamwambia ai, hapo si unachomoa panga, sijui hapo si unokiwa na bunduki, sijui mwanaume ni kupigana. So reading at the comments, I'm like, man, like, do you know what this guy is trying to teach you? Because he's not teaching you boxing, because you may not even needing. He's teaching you how to be a man. I'll give you an example. Another example. Today is a day of examples. A man who voluntarily undergoes what you call rigorous training, like the man he's teaching at his boxing camp. Shout out to Mufasa. A man who voluntarily undergoes rigorous training, or what you call self-discipline, because what Mufasa is teaching you is self-discipline. This is what we teach even in the gym. Self-discipline, consistency. And this is, when you are doing self-discipline, consistency, this is to make you better. So this reflects what you call your own self-mastered choice, because you are making the choice to go and train with him. You get it? And this is where the white boys are ahead of the game, beyond you. Where you don't have what is called intentional self-mastery. So this is the concept. When you're choosing the path of masculinity in today's world, okay, you have to be intentional. Choosing what you call self-improvement, exercising, healing, grieving as a man, letting all that pain out. You need to have what is called a commitment to personal ideals. And these have to be independent of what you are calling external demands. You are not doing it because you want to get laid. You are not doing it because you want to be seen as a hero in the video. No, this is about self-mastery. This is self or personal fulfillment beyond survival. You're not doing this for survival. You're not doing this for boxing. You're not doing this to shine. Because true fulfillment, and this is the reason why a lot of men are unhappy, true fulfillment comes from striving for more than survival. So you are pursuing strength. You are pursuing virtues. Why? Because this is what is going to enhance your life. Not because it's necessary, the skills that you are learning, but because this is going to enhance your life. Example. Another example. When you invest in what is called personal development, like advanced education, okay? You find a course online, it's free course, unaichukua, okay? Or what you call artistic pursuits. Come, Silo. Puss. Puss. Silo. I may confirm whatever he has confirmed, whatever you are saying. So when you're investing in personal development, like advanced education, artistic pursuits, and you're doing this to enrich what you call life beyond the basic needs, you're going to face a lot of what you call modern criticism, where watu wanakuambia, wewe, hiyo miaka uko nayo, bado unarudi shule. Unasoma nini sasa na ulimaliza? But men who pursue traditional masculinity today are going to face what is called criticism from modern societal standards, where they look at that, or they view that pursuit as outdated. They look that as problematic. Wanakuambia na unapenda mashida. Wiki weda kuegio, unapenda kujisumbua sana. But a man who is practicing what you call traditional forms of discipline, though you are going to be criticized, as being out of touch. Okay? They are going to look at your pursuit like it's a personal choice for self-improvement. But remember, you are either going to incarnate, or incarnate. And as men, we need to pursue our masculinity today as a conscious choice rather than a necessity. Why? Because when you come back into this world, when you incarnate or reincarnate or carnate, these masculine traits, if you come back as a masculine, because you may come back as a feminine, spirit is drawn in this. The next time your spirit may choose to come back and pick more of the feminine side. However, even when you pick more on the feminine side, your masculine will not be wounded. So when it comes to your thoughts, your thoughts, your gikuyu, you will be more inclined to survive or for survival. I'll give you an example. Another example. The people who run the world, mnasemanga, oh, the Rockefellers, oh, sijui all those families. Remember, their grandfathers died. Their fathers died. But their children are maintaining the tradition. So come to your culture. Your culture has got nothing right now. The Kikuyu have got nothing. You don't have land. Land hata saizi bado inaenda. Mnaanguka na maziwa kwa barabara. Maziwa bado mnaangusha kwa maziwa mnaangusha na pikipiki kwa matope. So it's showing you that through generations, the sins of your fathers, what is being passed down is generational curses. It's generation trauma. Ndio bado inaendelea kupasiwa down to the generations. So your fathers didn't have it. Your grandfathers didn't have it. Juwezi niambia ati mababu zetu walipigania uhuru. Kwa nini walikuwa wanapigania? Kwa nini wao si wenyewe walikuwa wanaenda kuchukua lands? Why is it always that we are in victimhood? It's because there's somewhere where we have fallen short, whereby for them, masculine is taken very seriously. Masculinity is taken very seriously because they know for you to take over, you need masculine men. Look at our sons today. Our sons are weak. When our sons were in the streets, we never joined them. We are their fathers. Well, I was in the streets. Not just for my son, but for others. Why? I have to be there. Those are our children. But where were your fathers? Where were your millennial fathers? Ndio walikuwa wanaambia msiende maandamano. So you don't even have examples of never being in victimhood. Even your fathers are always in victimhood. They voted for these thieves. They have always accepted the short end of the stick, like our grandfathers. The same way. And one day we'll talk about the Mau Mau and the story of the Mau Mau, because you have the wrong story. You have the wrong story about the Mau Mau. The Mau Mau, and I'm not even going to go deep into this for this live. The word Mau Mau, do you know where it came from? Mau, Mau, Umai, Umai, Mau, Mau, Umai. Who are the Mau Maus? Who are being called the Mau? The collaborators. Remember, in 1945, in 1944, 44, sio 60 mkipata freedom, in 1944, Kenyatta was sleeping with white women on holiday. Let that sink in. You have the wrong story of the story. You have their story. Nyi mnakuanga na his story. Mnaitanga history. His side of the story. Remember, the victor always writes the story. The victim never writes a story. It is the victor who has the money for publication and the connection to write a book. Never forget that. Story for another day. So, and this is where we are. And this is why you'll find a live like this one that is talking about the masculine. A lot of men are going to come here and pass. This is the kind of live. Sai tunafaa kuwa na over 200 viewers of men. But because we don't have men, ni boys, wakikuja hapo wakisikia masculine, wana browse because they don't even have the capacity, even a single cell. They don't even have a single cell inside them that can connect with what I'm saying. Because these are seeds from weak men. Seeds from weak men, beta males. However, we'll keep talking about this. And that is the end of today's topic. So, I'm going to take questions now. If you have any question, even if it's not related to the masculine, let's go. Because like I told you, you do not cast pearls to swine. Okay? I can create a program for masculine that I can print into a book and put it into Amazon for other people if our people don't give a shit. And that's the problem we have, because our people like victim stories. Wanataka tuongeza maumau, wanataka tuongeza mukuru wa nyagathaga, wanataka tuongeza ucokia rũĩ mũkaro, ndũngĩcokia rũĩ mũkaro. The river knows its path for millions of years. You cannot return the river to its path. The river knows its path. Hata ujaribu kubadilisha, the river knows its path. Kwa hivyo wewe ukuna ati tucoki, uracoki. Sasa wewe ndio utaonyesha maji njia wewe. Wewe ni wokuonia rũĩ harĩa rũgeraga. Ũraciĩrwo ũrakora rũĩ. Ũcokie rũĩ mũkaro. Rũĩ nĩ rũĩ. Okay? Rũĩ nĩ rũĩ. That is the good news. Na hiyo ndio inaturudisha nyuma. Na hiyo tunasema it is outdated. Kĩrĩra kĩu nĩ kĩhĩtũke nĩ mahinda. It is weakness that you are left to regurgitate by the people who wrote the books for you. However, the people who wrote these books, Kikuyu Proverbs, they gave them the wrong information intentionally. But if you don't know how to decode the information, you'll be stuck in purgatory. But sasa, you have to create a mindset that can help you interpret these proverbs. The same way you read the Bible is the same way you read the proverbs. These proverbs are coded. Nikio cietagwo thimo. Thimo nĩ kĩndũ gĩthime. These have to be decoded, and you cannot decode them with your small mind. Let me see if you have any question before we get down to the question I've seen. Nothing, no questions. You guys, you're not even saying hi to each other. You're just liking the live, liking the live. When you come to my space, interact together. You are a community. That's how you build a community. Say hi to each other. Modoni muidherado, unakuja unapata King April amejoin. Say hi to each other. Okay? Create a community. This is the age of Aquarius. It's all about creating a community. Don't just come and watch. You are the community, not me. Me, I can only show you how to create a cup, where to drink, but you have to create the community. United we stand, departed you fall, and you have always been departed. Hey, as a woman, if you are attracted to these kind of lessons, does it mean you are in your masculine energy? Not necessarily, because this is what happens. We are the same. A man is both masculine and feminine. Okay? A man, I even don't like even using this word. Let me use the word male. Males are 60% masculine. The shape and form I choose to come in, the shape and form my spirit jumped into is 60% masculine, 40% feminine. The spirit that jumps into the shape and form of a female will utilize 60% feminine energy, 40% masculine. And the difference, why it's not 50-50, the 10%, Kedamu Yoru, is only taken by the sexual organs. So even when you get attracted to this kind of information, is because the masculine inside you, ndio maana nimesema, these are things that you need to know, especially as a man. So when you pick the next body, you'll have the skills, because it's all about balancing. There's no problem, even for a woman to be in her masculine. It's all about balancing. So you know, I'm more feminine, I'll be in my feminine natures. Sometimes I need to take or let the man lead. And when he's not around, I can take that role. Shout out to all the single women out there. You get what I'm going with this? Sometimes jenga na jenga, you'll find me home cooking. I'll get home, Munjiro is not home. I look at the time, I know wherever she is, she's busy. Nianue nguo kwa kamba, nimkunjie nguo. I jump into the kitchen. If she had not done the dishes, do the dishes. I'll ask my daughter, what will you do for dinner? Let's cook before my dog gets home. We cook dinner. So she'll come hurrying, oh, in her house, oh my God, what did I cook? Anakuta ala, nimeanuliwa nguo, zimekunjwa, nimebakishwa kupanga. The house is clean and there's food on the table. What did I do? Am I whipped? No. I jumped into the role of the feminine side, which is nurturing and taking care. And I jumped into that side and I took care of business. Then when she gets home, I don't even serve. I'm sitting down with my hibiscus royal wine or a shot of whiskey, or I'm just browsing on the phone. So anaingia nyuma naambia, mama love, si bado serve? Namwambia, nani ya serve wewe? Now I jump back into my masculine again. Ati ni serve. Sasa jumekuta nimepika mimi ni serve. Taihora ilio. So I don't want to feel like this is something she can be very comfortable with. But it's balanced. You get it? That's how you do it. But most of you cannot do that because you are weak boys. Okay, you have the wrong masculinity. Ni sawa? Let me see if there's another question. Haba. What is the role of our culture and cultural practices in our lives? They have no role. A culture is cultivated from a cult. So a group of men sat down, came up with rules and regulations, and low-hanging fruit, who cannot decide anything for them, had to go for that. Okay? Now, remember the question you have asked, cultural practices. So this is a practice. Now, you can do a practice if the outcome is positive. Now, the only thing is that our people do practices even if the outcome are negative, just because some men have said they are necessary. And I apologize to all the women who have had to go for the cut for societal pressures because so and so said that they are shosho, alikuwa na deni. Hauna deni ya shosho yako. Hello, tell us about the so much money spent on athletes and footballers. Is it a mass control tool? These are called puppets. Or killing two birds with one stone. So if you can create a sport where we inject money is printed, doesn't mean shit. And we can have millions of Africans glued to the TVs Saturdays and Sundays afternoons. Instead of seeking self-mastery and improvement, they are gambling, drinking Guinness, owned by the white people, Heineken, owned by the white people, watching DSTV, paying the white people. So you have nothing. Then we have killed two birds with one stone, where we don't have to go and convince each one and everyone every day, no Konora. Jenga, come out here. We want you to do this. That's too much work. They got tired of hanging people on crosses, so they created things like sports. So now you get it. Okay? So it's a tool. Good balance, thank you. Hey brother, team working. No, hey brother, I'm working. How in the world could I be the system of 9 to 5 and also being... I'm glad you may not notice it, but I'm actually very proud on how you have asked that question. You see, a lot of people wangesema hivi, hey brother, I have a job. How in the world could I be the system of 9 to 5? But umesema, hey brother, I am working. That's very positive. How in the world could I beat the system of 9 to 5? You do not beat the system. You cannot change this beast. It has been here for thousands of years, 5,000 years now. But the world has been the way it has been for only 400 years. Okay? The system has been there for 5,000 years. The system, the artificial world has been here for 400 years only. That is how old the Bible is. Usiambiwe na mtu the Bible is 2,000 years old. Usidanganywe na mtu. Hiyo ni story. Now, the story of Jesus is made up. Now, you do not beat the system. No. It has too much against you. You use the system. Keyword, use the system. It's not what you are doing. It's how you are doing it. You can do the same thing, but one of it makes you feel like the victim, while the other makes you feel like you're on top of the game. Okay? Marlon Musindo, if you want more information on that, that sounds like a consultation. You can book a consultation so that you know exactly what you are doing, whether it's in line with you, or even if it's not in line with you, how you can use it, how you can benefit it, how you can exploit it. That's a consultation. Sa Wamboi B nilikuwa iende tu hivyo. Leave the women clitoris alone. If you are going to do anything with the women clitoris, put it in your mouth. There are some questions I don't like responding to. Like if you can type the characteristics of an Aries, of course you know you can Google that. So I like questions that stroke my mind. Okay? My mind is so big that I've outgrown some things like those ones. But let me answer you because it's Wednesday. Aries is the first sign, or what you call Yahweh, aka 6 a.m. in the morning. Now, what characteristics do you see at 6 a.m. in the morning? 6 a.m. in the morning, unasikianga matatu imeanza pararira asubuhi, unasikianga ndege wameamka, kama uko na kuku wanaamka, zinaamuka. So 6 a.m. the sun is rising, so there's that rising, there's that spring. Aries is spring, the beginning of the year. So the characteristic of an Aries, you don't even need a book. Amuka 6 a.m. enda nje ukae chini hivi. Uone hiyo ndio hiyo jua imeanza kutokezea ni 6 a.m. Usikie ndege zimeanza chuchu. So that spring into life beginning are the characteristics of an Aries. So if you are an Aries, you are here to initiate, start something, begin something. You are the first sign, number one. You are like Neo in the Matrix. You are like the one in Jet Li. Ni sawa, nimekujibu. Do that. Don't complicate it. Or you can Google if you are a Google scholar. Kama unapenda Google, unaweza Google. But why Google when you can see it outside? Nature is the best teacher. God will show you everything. Observe everything. That is how we learn some of the things. I had to go outside also. I had to go outside. Naenda hapa kuna kuanga na dhigiriri naenda hapo 6 am. Naona ni 6. Wacha nione hizi dhigiriri kama zitaamka. Naona ala. Hata hakuna light enough na zianza kuamuka. Ala. Naenda kwa mbuzi. When I had the goats, nangojea 6 am nakaa hapo. Naanza kusikia zimeanza kukick. Zingine zinaamuka zenye zilikuwa zimelala. They stop chewing the cud. Vitu kama hizo. Can you elaborate about the current world being 400 years? I thought it was about 2000. You thought it was 2000 because umeambiwa. You have read the world has been here for 2000 years. Tiamat, Gaia, Earth has been here for 2000 years. Actually, more than that. But you see, we have what you call Earth and the world. I'm talking about the world. The world is 400 years. AKA, the artificial world of books, Bible, titles, and government. Okay, let me break it down for you. The government. Let me even move away from the government. Let me give you a rule like this. The covenant. The word covenant means government. So the covenant is 400 years old. That is how old they have crafted this world view. Because remember, there's the world, what you see when you go outside, what is really in the world, and we have what you call the world view. How you view the world, money, business, entertainment, education, and politics is only 400 years. Before ubishane, Just some people like, yeah, the world has been here for thousands of years. Listen. We have today tuko na gari, driverless cars are delivering things, drones. Unachukua simu unapigia drone inakuderivia chakula kwako without guidance. Na mwenye na order ni mimi. I'm ordering through my phone. I have used Nokia 3310. I have used the phone booth. I used to call my father kwa phone booth. Ilikuwanga kwa chief, unaenda unapiga phone booth. So, in one lifetime, in my lifetime alone, I'm not talking about my father, ama my grandfather, ama my great-grandfather. In my lifetime alone, okay? In my lifetime alone, hata sijafika half of my lifetime for this dimension, this time. But in my half, let me not even call it my lifetime. Let me go back to since when I was 18, because from the age of 0 to 18, you are still a child. So from 18, when now you have discernment, in that age alone, I have seen the world move from typewriter. Mi nikiwa shule kulikuwanga na typewriter to computers to speech to text. In my adult life peke yake, nimeona tukitoka kwa gari ya gia 3, juu nimekuta gari zinaitwa Ford Agria, to gari ya gia 8 bila shift, automatic cars. Okay? In my lifetime alone, as an adult, I have witnessed development nikiona from Sony 33, ile kinanda ilikuwa inafungwa na cell tape, inawekwa kwa nganya, inafungwa na cell tape, inashikanishwa na equalizer, ilikuwa inawekwa tape, driver anazungusha tape, chrome, hiyo tape ilikuwa inaitwa tape ya chrome. When you are in school tulikuwa unaenda na hizo nganya, ukikaa hapo mbele unapewa bairu, unashinda ukizungusha tape. Sasa hizi hata nikiuliza tape hauna, ama umekaa, so I have a tape player here. I have witnessed a diskette. Right now, we have phones that have over 500 GB of storage to a terabyte in a phone. 12 GB of RAM. Yet, in my lifetime, nimekuta computer iko na RAM ya 265. You get it? In my adult life alone. So, if that is not even squeezed within 60 years, now multiply that 5 times, you get 300 years. Now go back 400 years. See where we were when we were crafting what you call the world. When I was in school, nikifunzwa biology, geography, tulikuwa tuna kitu ilikuwa inaitwa topographical map. I was very proud of reading a topographical map. Topographical, ili ilikuwa inachorwa hivi, unajua hapa maji iko hapa, topographical. Right now, you have Google Map, where through your phone, unaona nyumba yako, unaingia Google, unaenda satellite. Unaona mpaka kuna kitu inapiganga nyumba yako picha. Na hiyo ni one lifetime as an adult. So think about 400 years. Wachana 2000 years. Think about 400 years. That is how old your language has been translated from Latin to all the languages, to how they are flattening the world, how they have crafted what you call the 5 pillars: business, entertainment, religion, education, and politics. In your own life alone, you went from no independence, the white man being here, uliza babako. White man coming, you being given in quotes, freedom, independence, to one-party system, two-party system, a democracy, counties, governors, MCAs, women, like in one lifetime alone, as an adult, hata sikuhesabi ukiwa mtoto, as an adult. So that's how you use sense to understand where we are without just listening to the language. 2000 years hakuna kitu kama hiyo. The pyramids and hizi vitu mnaitanga refresh, report a problem. So you are not liking the live. Live will end in 4 minutes, 52 seconds. We have detected inactivity during your current live. Complete the verification to continue your current live. Now I have to macha kaka kitu kang'ombe nikawekelea hapo. Unable to verify. Please try again. Come on now. What is this? Verification complete. We are back. Anyway, we can end the live. So you see this kind of lives where there's inactivity. This is what I'm talking about. If I'm casting pearls to swine, whatever I'm saying is not of importance, we can end the live, okay? Naweza enda YouTube ama Facebook or everywhere else, okay? But let me finish anyway. So, Africans love the victim mentality, the open palm policy ya kuomba saa zote. Even when people give you the solutions, you don't take them or you don't even pay attention. So, hata hiyo maneno ya pyramid wacha tuache nayo, forget about that. Carbon dating is, hakuna kitu kama carbon dating, but you know what, I wanted to jump into that with the pyramids and to tell you why the pyramids are still there. I won't even go deeper into that. However, anything that is still standing is standing because it has been maintained. The pyramids are still there because they are being maintained. Otherwise, go outside, enda uache mawe nje kwenyu, enda uache mawe nje kwenyu. Come back after 10 years. Uniambie kama utapata hiyo mawe. Unless hiyo mawe ina maintainiwa. AKA, unless hiyo mawe inatumiwa kupika, unless hiyo mawe inatumika kwa ng'ombe, so it's maintained. If it is not maintained in 10 years, there will be no rock. Itakuwa imenyeshewa, imekuwa eroded, imekuwa mchanga. Now take that information and go to these sites. Munaitanga sites akina pyramids. They are maintained. That is why sometimes they are closed. Tourists cannot access them so that they can be maintained or updated. No rock can survive over 1,000 years unless it is being maintained. After the masculine series, will you do a feminine series? Yeah, well, we can do simultaneous. We can be balancing. We can be talking about masculine and feminine. Have you ever been employed? If yes, how did you use that to your benefit? I've never been employed. I've always worked under contract. The only time, after that was not employment. Nikiwa Mujengo, opened my first barber shop after high school, opened a wine and spirits, went into the matatu industry, went into the taxi industry, got a contract with the Kenya Power, kuweka stima. Ni mimi niliweka stima hapo area Mathare huko during that time ya Mongeke. Hizo contracted as a steamer contractor, as a contractor. Went into, my story is beautiful. It's a whole movie. Went into kuuza ngano, Narok, Nanyuki, left that, went, so many, it's a beautiful story. I've never been employed. Okay. No, Jenga, sometimes the content is so deep tunasahau kutap. So yeah, so we have 13 more minutes of questions and then we can end the live. Tukienda kufika Gemini tunaweza toka kwa live. Ati agikuyu moe kuhithadia matioe kuhitha uhoro. 1,000 Kikuyu proverbs. That is the first one. The Kikuyu, though very clever in concealing their arms, cannot keep secrets from the members of their tribe. Imagine that. That is the first program of 1,000 Kikuyu proverbs. The Kikuyu know how to conceive their quiver. The quiver is the arrow they use to hunt, but do not know how to conceal their secrets. Jibara. By the Consolata Catholic Mission, 9th December 1939. Let that sink in. 9th December 1939 is when this book was printed. 9th December 1939. Unajua wakikuyu wasemanga yeke koyo gitu 9th December 1939 is when this book was printed after being compiled. Let me tell you the time I got this book as a gift. Receipt bado iko hapa. I was gifted this book 11/9, or whoever bought this book nataka ujisomea risiti. Hii kitabu ilinunuliwa 1993. It was bought 11th mwezi wa 9 September 1993 from Manzani Limited Textbook and Stationery, Yaya Center, first floor. In 1993, it was paid in cash. They bought 2 books. One, 1,000 Kikuyu Proverbs. The other one, Where There's No Doctor. 1,000 Kikuyu Programs was bought for 30 shillings, Where There's No Doctor was bought at 320 shillings. So both the books was 350 shillings in 1993. Hii risiti bado inakuanga kwa hii kitabu. This book, Where There's No Doctor, bought for 320 shillings, iko pale kwa my shelf. If you need to heal from any disease that has been fucking you up, Where There's No Doctor, the book is there. If you want, I can show you the book, because you can't find it in publication. And I was gifted these 2 books in 2024. 10 years. So I was gifted these things in 2014. Yeah, 2014 is when I was gifted this book as new with the receipt. Na There's No Doctor as new with the receipt. Mwenye alinigift alikuja akaniambia, I have 2 books I'd like to give you. They have been in my possession as new, and I've been waiting to find the right person to give this book, and he gave them to me. So I still keep them with the receipt here for a reason. So if in 1939 kitabu ilikuwa inaandikwa ya Kikuyu, someone sat down and compiled that. Niko na kitabu pale ya 1903 or 1909? It's there. It's worth so much. I'm not even supposed to be speaking about it. On how Kikuyus were taught this Kikuyu. It was taught in class. Eno ne goko. Korera tosui toa goko. Kikuyus were taught how to keep chickens. The same way today you are being taught modern farming. I have books of Kikuyu being taught. Anyway, 8 minutes of questions. Kuna mtu anasema ni runye, kuna kitu kama runye. If our souls have a choice, why do they choose the same generational curses? They can opt out because you create that memory. So right now, the memory you create is what you are going to go into as a memory. And that memory, okay, that generational curse is only maybe a curse in this realm. It is a curse maybe on the 3D here. On another existence, it's actually not a curse. It can be a gift. Ndio tunasemanga, there's a gift and a curse to everything. So you can say you are ugly. Okay? Shout out to Simple Boy. You can say you are ugly, but your ugliness is a gift to you because it has pushed you to the limelight. And unakulia your ugliness. So generational curses are only curses on this dimension based on what you are going through. In other spaces, it's a gift. There's a gift and a curse to everything. It's how you transmute that energy. So once you become aware, you'll always look at things not as a curse, but as a gift. For example, the misfortunes or the trials and tribulations that come to me, they may look mean and everything, but to me, I've learned to transmute them. These are lessons, because every time I overcome that thing, nimeished na nimeizika kaburi la sahau, meaning I have shed, thus created a boundary. So that means my spirit is now more lighter. When I reincarnate again or incarnate, my spirit will be lighter of that virtue and principle based on the location that I was in. You get what I'm saying? So it becomes a curse when you don't shed it. When you don't shed it. This morning I was, before I started, I was on a divine feminine tarot card reader. And I said hi. And the moment I said hi, she threw the cards. And the first card that came out was demon teaching. A demon teaching. And her hand started shaking. And she said, oh, my hand is shaking so much. So we went deeper into the cards. A Mahamit card. Let me not go too much into the details and everything. So shadow work is every day. That's what I have to say for that life. Shadow work is every day. Shadow work is every day. Okay? So 5 more minutes. I hope I answered you, Habanahaba. So 5 more minutes. Questions, then we can leave. Okay? We can let the humans continue being humans. Kikuyu, no, not the Kikuyu Lab session. Kikuyu Lab session is this weekend at Elysian Gardens. I'll be there physically that Saturday with my wine, catching up with the people. Then Folk Fusion is on the 20 something. Folk Fusion, the lineup is amazing. We have Sarabi, Nyawera, Erosh, Jerae. We have Haun Watano. We have, what do you call that? Luo artist. It's amazing. We have Eleke Wainaina. We have an amazing lineup. So that again will be on Kiambu Road again. Folk Fusion. Again, I'll be there at the Folk Fusion. So we'll catch up there. Kuna mtu alikuwa ameniuliza kwenye watu wananipatanga like physically. Will Morini, I don't know who is Morini. Or if you're asking about Moringe, she may come, but she's not performing. Okay? Does your dress code has a meaning? Today is Wednesday, we wear green, or a lot of green colors. So, yeah. If you're asking about a deeper spiritual meaning, nah, we don't make things too spooky. It doesn't mean shit. I can take this off. It doesn't mean anything. I can take this off. Stay like that. It has no spiritual meaning. Okay, it's cold. It's chilly. I didn't want to put it around my neck like this. Okay, but I can put it now. Okay, it's cold. That's the reason I had it covering my ears. Is that better? Oh, you like that, eh? Yeah. Though I dress with a meaning, but not that spookism meaning. I don't dress it for that deep part. Spookism. No, it's not. Stop complicating things. Things are not complicated. Things are very easy. Today is Wednesday, Odin's Day. Today is Earth Day. In short, today is ruled by Earth, or what you call Tiamat, Gaia, Earth, or the planet we are on today is what is in rulership. So it's a day for communication. Mercury. Those people who watched what you call American Gods, you remember Mercury, the man with the glass eye. He was always talking, representing communication, okay? So today is about communication. That's why a lot of markets happen on a Wednesday. So don't go too deep. Always make things easy before you go deep. The problem is that humans like making things heavy or complicated when they are not that complicated. Yeah. So we can end the live is 10. Shout out to everyone who came into the space. Naona leo hamkuwa na maswali, which is beautiful. It means mnajua. Na kujua ni power. Each one teach one. Tomorrow is Thursday, Jupiter. Now, before I go, there's going to be extreme weather today and tomorrow. It was supposed to be tomorrow, 5th. But since we are on the east side, on the instant side of what you call the land to the east, so it's starting with us. For your friends who are places where there's things like tornadoes, hurricanes, vitu kama hizo, tomorrow will be chaos. So warn them to be careful. Flash floods, rains, it may actually even rain tonight or something. So these are as above so below things. It's not that God has got nothing to do with it. Vitu kama hizo. Safaricom due on the 8th. That's my Wi-Fi. Anipea reminder on the 8th. Leo ni 4th ama 5th. Talipa tu. Safaricom talipa internet tu. Usijali. Ni sawa. Some comments in this live are filtered to protect the community's experience. Why do you filter my comments? Stop filtering my comment. Shout out to my moderator, pinned a comment. Which comment, moderator? I don't see a comment. Oh, you pinned my number. Oh, that's the comment. Okay. I was looking for the comment. Sawa. Do have a beautiful day.